Alright, what are we doing here today? Got two knives for you I'd like to compare. Now these two have been compared in the past a lot, and I just want to give my take on the comparison. This is a Benchmade Bugout. This is a Kershaw Heist. Now these two operate basically the same way. They both have the same type of lock. It's called a bar lock, and the Heist has what's called a Dura lock, and the Benchmade has what's called an axis lock. Now, they both operate the same way, and as you can see, dimensionally, they're about the same. We're going to line you up on the 10-inch line here, and you can see the handle is similar length, the blade is similar length. The steel on the Kershaw is a D2 steel. The steel on the Benchmade is a CPM S30V steel. Both high-grade steels, something that you wouldn't see in a low end knife. And we'll get to the prices on these a little bit later. But both high quality steels, good edge retention, and both of them have been working well for me for a while now. This one a very long time, and I have sharpened it, but it just really needs a touch up. And I may have sharpened this a little bit, or touched it up, and they're both holding up nicely. The blade length's obviously the same, 3.2 inches. The handle length's a little bit longer on the Kershaw, 4.4 to 4.2. The weights on these two are going to be a little different. Now, the Kershaw is 2.8 ounces, and the Benchmade is 1.8 ounces. And the way I think Benchmade might have accomplished this is the handles here are carbon nylon. So the handle material is very stiff, strong, and lightweight, considering it has the carbon fiber in it. This may be fiber reinforced, I'm not sure. If anything, it might be glass reinforced nylon, which it's very strong. This one's a little thicker scales here, and the Benchmade's a little thinner. Now, people seem to complain about the Benchmade, what do you call it? The Benchmade Bugouts, how in this area it might be a little mushy and flexible, but this one, to me, does not suffer from that from any practical standpoint. I can push this and notice very little deflection as far as the movement on it, and so it's very stiff. It holds up nicely to whatever I use it for, which is relatively light use, I suppose, and it winds up being perfectly adequate. So if weight is your concern, this one is significantly lighter. Now, operations wise, you'll notice this one is a little bouncy, but it does have a nice click and solid feel to it as far as the when it's locked up. It's a little more snappy, I say. I shouldn't say it's bouncy. It's a little more snappy, a little tinny. That's not to say that it's not high quality, but what do you call it? It's just a little bit, has a little different feel than this guy. You can snap it out, you can pop it back in. It operates nicely. It's nice and smooth, and you can open it with your thumb easily. Same with this one. Basically, you can snap it in. Look, it's hard to do. Trying not to knock the camera over. Snap it out. You can knock it back in. Open it easily with the thumb stud. Both sides, ambidextrous. Close it easily enough, and I like the way they did this handle. I also like this one. I want to show you what I like, what I don't like about that. I'm gonna take my other hand here. This area, I'm not a big fan of having a ton of room between here and there, but I think they did this nicely. It really, when your finger falls here, I don't like a lot of space between here and there, and I think it's done a little bit better over here. This is a little far back for my taste, but when you put it in your hand fits around it very nicely. Your finger gets right in there, and your pinky doesn't hang off. It goes right to where you'd want it to go, and it falls naturally, and it has a very comfortable grip, even though visually I look at it and go, whatever. But maybe they could, if it was me, I'd have taken 2 millimeters off here, right? That would bring the finger just slightly more forward, but I'm nitpicking. So it has a very comfortable grip. This here this one is a little bit more comfy. I wouldn't say so much so, but maybe a little bit. And you know, it's not this radiused anymore. You know, it does have a smooth profile. Your hand fits on it just as nicely. It falls nicely. Might be a little bit more comfortable, but we're splitting hairs. This one feels a little more blocky, but you know, not by something that, you know, it's going to put you. It's not that something that's going to be off-putting. I'm going to look at it from this side. Another nice thing about these guys, they come out of the box with the deep carry clip, and you know, I'm a big fan of that. It makes my life a lot easier. You don't have to go finding clips for it. They come out of the box like this, and they sit low in the pocket, and you barely notice them. Like I said, this one weighs a lot less, and you know, I guess you notice it a little less in the pocket. And but both of them carry very nicely, and you know, I haven't had them open up accidentally because the lock winds up being spring loaded into the closed position. So when the blade is closed, you got a little springy holding it closed. It's going to want to snap shut, so it's not going to get caught, hopefully, and then open inadvertently. And you know, that shouldn't happen. I've never had that happen on one of these guys or the other knife I have with the same type of lock, which is really nice. The big difference is going to be the price. The Benchmade is $175 roughly, and the Kershaw comes in at about $60 for this guy. Now, if I was doing it again, would I get another Benchmade? I'm not sure. I like it. I really do. I have no problem with it. It's held up nicely. It carries nicely. It's done whatever I've wanted to. The blade holds up well. The edge holds up well. And but quite frankly, if I was going to do it again, I might not get the Benchmade. But I'm very happy with this Kershaw, and happy with this. I like the fact that this is USA made, supporting manufacturing here, which is wonderful. This here, it is made overseas, but so are a lot of things. So I'm sure there have employees from the Kershaw company in the United States, and you're supporting those people and families too. So neither here nor there for me. So much, but it is a consideration that you'd like to buy something USA made. I don't know what to tell you about this. I would recommend both of these, and I wouldn't hesitate to choose one over the other as far as functionality goes. But as far as price goes, obviously, this is going to save a lot of money, and you're going to do very well with a knife that's going to serve you well for a long time. That's my take on it, and I appreciate you sitting through this if you got this far. And well, that's it. Have a good one. Be safe.